we're talking about pervasive social media. But before we get into it, I mean, over the last two episodes, I've been talking about, listen, man, I don't want to turn into Graham Stephan. Like, I don't want to sit up here for like 2 minutes and tell y'all to hit subscribe and like, I don't want to do that. Like, that's not what I'm doing. Just go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Like, you click on the video already. Like, hit the sub. Like, you about to take me to the screen? Like, don't do that. Like, like, hit the sub, hit the subscribe, hit the like button, share the video if you find it valuable, all right? And you're like saying, but you doing this. Listen, man, again, I don't want to turn into Graham Stephan. Like, I want to sit up here and do that. That's crazy. This man sit up here, no. Like, hit the sub. I told you for the last few episodes that I want to get to 1 billion, all right? Like, you think I can do this by myself, yeah? Like, just because it's one in front of the B does not mean I can do this by myself, all right? This is not what we're doing. I want you to go ahead, hit the subscribe. Like, you think, come on. You see what Mr. Beast is doing? 230? This man is literally dying, like burying himself. Just, I don't even want to talk about this. But anyway, I want to bury myself. I'll tell you that. No way, okay? I do not want to do that. And so please hit the subscribe button. We about to get into the episode here. This is Sam Michael Pod. Listen, this is not personal. I can't do this by myself. All right, it clearly has been shown. If you need subscribers, people got to subscribe. All right, like, I'm pretty sure you already love me. Like this, you already love what we're doing up here. Hit the subscribe button, and let's get into this episode. So you saw that right there, all right? Like that hook. That's what they call it. I mean, honestly, I think I find it interesting, but. Gen Z, I just want to speak to y'all for a minute before we start this episode, right? Let's say y'all need a hook. Like, y'all don't have the common sense to really see a video, read the title, and say, okay, I want to dive into it. I don't want to actually just skip. I want to watch the whole thing to find out if it's valuable. Like, they're saying our attention span is crazy. Like, you even got, like, Dana White. You know, I love Dana White. I love UFC. I love Dana White. I love what he does. You know, you got a lot of people saying, yo, the software generation. I'm a millennial, I guess, you know, like, but you gotta take it personal. Like if you a Gen Z and you come across a video of a guy like Dana White sitting over there, you know, I love Dana White. He's sitting over there, but the reason why Dana is saying stuff like that and other people like Dana are saying you guys are the softened generation because they still hold a lot of the positions that y'all need to be holding. And so what they really saying is you're not stepping up. You know, like we not stepping up. I guess in some sense millennials are not stepping up too, but Gen Z specifically, you know, they take it personal. Whenever you hear stuff like me and Millennial talking crazy about y'all, take it personal, right? Step up, outperform them so much that they're like, okay, right? And honestly, the truth is, some of us are really not stepping to the table. All right, let's be honest, and myself included. Like, we got to step to the table. We got to elevate the bar. And they've set a bar, and they feel like we're not rising to the occasion. All right, and so Gen Z, take it personal. You know, Dana White, Joe Rogan, anybody that comes out and say something. Can you imagine if their generation, we started talking like that about them? They take it personal. So again, millennials, Gen Z, they saying with the softened generation, and, you know, they got all kinds of quotes going around now. They bringing back things like, you know, like a great economy turns weak men. And like, again, they say these things because they can say that. They're winning. And if they're winning, of course they're going to say that. Take it personal. Let's rise to the occasion. Let's hold ourselves to even a higher standard. Raise the bar to the point where they couldn't even imagine we could have come back that way. And I'm speaking to Gen Z. Rise up, all right? Let's show them that, okay, y'all still holding some of these high positions, so y'all think, okay, all right? Show them how. And I truly believe in Gen Z, all right? Like, I don't care what nobody says. I believe in y'all. Yo, let's go. We can do it. It's possible. But we got to rise to the occasion. Otherwise, they're going to keep saying stuff like that. And you can't be mad at them for saying it. Because obviously, it's so wild to me. You know? Like, it's like, you can run over these people. They can run over you guys. They're talking about how easy it is that if you can show an ounce of perseverance. And I was thinking about this last time. I'm like, damn. Gen Z, do something about it, all right? I know this is a long-winded intro, I guess, but this is Sam Michael Pod. We do whatever we want, to be honest. I mean, the people that rock with us, they're going to rock with us. 20 years, that's where we're going. I want to get to 1 billion. Again, if Mr. Beast have to almost die to get to 230 million, I can't do this by myself, okay? And I definitely don't want to get buried. I don't want to be flying helicopters, throw me. I don't. Hit the subscribe button. I love you all. And let's talk about pervasive social media. All right, listen. This is a topic I had to talk about because I have a G5 classification. All right, I know a lot of you also have a G5 classification, but let's all be honest. This has been very invasive. All right, social media has gone to places it doesn't need to. I mean, let me know actually in the comments. All right, I would like to hear this. How many of you have found yourself spending an extra 30 minutes, an extra 20 minutes, 15 minutes in the bathroom right before taking a shower? I mean, can you imagine putting those numbers together week by week, and accumulation of that for the rest of the year? We're wasting too much time. I mean, there's so many places that I've gone to hanging out with friends where you think you're having a conversation with someone, like everything is going great. And then you come to find out the thing that you thought was interesting that you laughing about, like they're not listening to that. They have an AirPods in their ears. This happened to me one time, and then I also had my phone in the background playing a video in a loop on YouTube. Like, yeah, social. I mean, this is what we all suffering from right now. I want to talk about it because it's made things difficult for me, and I know it's made it difficult for a lot of people out there to be able to achieve those worthwhile goals and visions that we want to get to. And so I personally wanted to clarify that I struggle with this myself, all right? Because again, the Twitter warriors, they I know in a few years this video is going to have a lot of comments and people are going to have something to say. So I just want to get this out there. I'm not perfect. What I am is far from that. But what I am is a daily improvement type of guy. I guess you could say that, you know? So I want to dive deep into my 4 quality habits that I've developed personally within the last few years that has tremendously helped me deal with social media and most importantly, get to my own top priorities, because that's really where I want to invest a lot of my time in. All right. And so I want to talk about these habits. But before we dive into any of those, I want to share with you 2 main reasons why I'm excited about episode 21. Listen, I know, it's getting a little long-winded, but I'm going to say this again. Sam Michael Pod is not like any other podcast. You know, if anything, I think I would compare it to a guy like Hines. You know, I love Hines because I love what he does, and I admire his work, and I've always wanted to have a podcast like that. And he was the first one that I came across that I saw him do something like so. I think it's interesting. But anyway, there are 2 main reasons why I wanted to do this episode. One being the fact that when I started the podcast, I came across this video, a clip on YouTube of the Modern Wisdom podcast host, Chris Williamson, talking about how about 70 or 80 to 90% of people that start the podcast never get to episode 21. Listen, my brain just went, wait, what? I thought there's millions of podcasts out there. Like, you telling me about 70 to 80%? And again, don't quote me on this, all right? But I know it's a huge number of people that started podcasts never get to episode 21. Opportunity to grow. But I wanted to get to episode 21 on purpose because I don't want to become a statistic. I did not want to become a stat. All right, can you imagine coming across a video like that right before you start your podcast? And then you don't get to episode 21, you're going to have to live with that for the rest of your life. That's not a memory I want to have, right? Because when you by yourself, those conversations, I don't want to have that memory on my mind. So listen, I know. I dropped my podcast, my last episode on January 16th of 2024 this year. Whew, 6 months in, God, ooh, Lord. But anyway, basically it wasn't going to stop me from getting to episode 21. I was going to deliver on this episode. I was going to come out with a banger. I was going to come up here and deliver for you all because I had to get to episode 21. So Chris, I want to say thank you so much for the additional motivation. Not like your boy needed it. I don't really need it, but I appreciate you. Modern Wisdom Podcast. See how I threw that in there? Yo, go check it out. Go check it out. It's a great podcast platform. I love what he's doing out there. One day, I'm not saying I'm going to be on there, but Chris, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not saying I want to be on there, but one day, you know, you got to put your boy on there. Maybe not yet, but at the right time. Modern Wisdom Podcast, we want to jump on there and have a few conversations. I love what Chris is doing. I appreciate you, Chris. But that's one of the main reasons why, and I wanted to talk about this simply because a lot of you want to get in this space, all right? You want to be able to create podcasts, and you want to be able to get in certain niches that you think it's so oversaturated. I mean, clearly, this personal development space that Chris Williamson was talking about, it's not as oversaturated as yeah, of course there's a lot of people making podcasts, but are they persevering? Are they persevering through some of the difficulties? Are they really pushing through and getting to episode 100, 200, 500, 800? I don't know that many people that will commit 10 years to doing this. This is why we want to commit 20 years to get into 1 billion, because most people will give up along the way. So whatever space you want to jump into, don't underestimate the importance that you have. Don't underestimate your perspective, your views. You know, maybe it's simply the way you talk about things. People might gravitate towards that. You don't know. The only way to find out is get in front of the camera. Get in front of the camera and get the work rolling. And over time, like I said, I've said many times, you get opportunities to improve. That's what we have as humans. So that's the first reason. The second reason is we're obviously talking about pervasive social media. Incredible topic that we all struggle with. And like I said earlier, I want to share these 4 habits that I have with you. And my hope is that by the end of this episode, you know what these high quality habits are and you are going to implement them. All right. If you don't implement these habits, it won't work itself. Especially if you watch the whole entire episode, you watch like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you spent some time. And so you need to rewatch it a few times and implement some of them. That's my hope really for this episode. All right. Now that we've gotten all these scratches off, I want to talk about a quote that I believe will encapsulate everything that I'll be talking about today. All right. I know you're going to love it. So listen to this. All right. This is how it goes. It says, the unfocused mind quietly endures immense suffering in an era of pervasive social media. I want that to settle in one more time. All right. Hear that one more time. The unfocused mind quietly endures immense suffering in an era of pervasive social media. With vision, we have direction. With systems, we become disciplined. Now listen, you must understand that I'm not saying you cannot accomplish the things you want in life without cultivating these habits, but it becomes a little challenging to be able to get to the things you want to get to when you don't have them written down, when you don't have systems and you don't have habits that amount to your vision, especially if they're not quality habits. And so that's why I want to talk about this today. All right, so I have 4 questions that I've put together today, and this will give you a total idea of what we are talking about today. Okay? The first question is obvious, which is, what are those 4 habits that I would like to talk about today? The first one being calendars and scheduling. I mean, that's a no-brainer. All right. Number 2, block times, all dedicated hours. Number 3 is you need to adopt a daily evaluation system. And the last one is a non-negotiable daily writing. Your habits have to correlate with your vision. So yes, of course, even though as much as I think these are fundamental and they're very vital in terms of your success and achieving any goals and visions in your life, you don't need to implement any of these as part of your routine or your regimen or add it to any aspect of your life if it doesn't align with your own vision. Like, don't go spend 3 hours, or don't try to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning if it really has no service to you in any area of your life right now. Like, what's the point? Maybe you need to be sleeping and spending time with your kid. Like, why would you even wake up at 4? But again, it's not for everybody. So always understand that your habits have to be in alignment with your vision. And if it doesn't align, you don't necessarily need to have that habit. So just because every content creator and your favorite personal development coach or whatever it is telling you this is the end all be all habit that will change your life, if it was that easy, I think we all got it done already. That's not how it works. Okay. So those are the 4 habits. Now let's dive into the nitty gritty. All right. So the first question is, why do you need these habits more than ever today? because I truly believe you need these habits more than ever today. We're talking again, pervasive social media where ding, 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 click, 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 TikTok. Like we get it from friends, family, colleagues. It's always, we're being bombarded with data. We constantly have to watch something. We have to click on this. So why do I think you need to establish these specific habits that I'm talking about? All right. Let's start with calendars and scheduling. I think calendars are so important because they bring specificity. All right. They give you definition to your daily actions that again will compound to get you to your visions. All right. It's great to have an idea of what you want to do because obviously lack of vision, my people perish. Without vision, there's no hope in your future. So without vision, most of your actions currently will not align. I'm sorry. If you don't have a vision, you're not connected to your future self. And it's as simple as that. So you need a vision, but I believe calendars allows you to project into the future and then have those specifics of exactly what tasks need to be accomplished on what days. Again, try to schedule your life around your future self, right? And so it's all going to be based on your priorities. So if one of the top priorities is building 10 pounds of muscle or losing 10 pounds of weight, or if one of the priorities is becoming a writer, I don't know what it is. If one of those priorities, then you need to make sure you are scheduling around that, right? Your priorities is ultimately what matters. Those actions that give you massive outputs. That's where you want to invest a lot of your time in. And I believe calendars and scheduling allows you to bring those specifics of things that need to be done to get you your ultimate desires. And so vital. And again, it's hard to really project into the future, which a lot of us are not gazing further into the future. So we are living day to day, which is something Benjamin Hardy talks about in the book, Be Your Future Self Now. And because we are living so day to day, when we have challenges that we cannot foresee, we're always in trouble, right? We need to have a bigger gaze, a higher gaze, bigger vision and bigger purpose. Calendars allow you to project into that future self and see further a month from now, 6 months from now, a week from now, prepare better. And so that way your actions always are in alignment. All right. Number 2, block times and dedicated hours. Why do I think you need this more than ever today? Again, we're talking about distractions. Block times allows you to improve your overall focus and expand your attention span. Right. So you for those of you creatives out there, if you're working on a specific task and an idea, you're preparing for an episode, you want to be able to hold those ideas for a sustained period of time and maybe experiment, imagine better, see how you want things to play out, whether it's a book you're working on. And when you have block times, you can truly focus, you can sustain those ideas for prolonged periods of time to have that critical thinking ability that will help you come up with better ideas. All these things, in my opinion, are super vital when you use block times. It helps you basically improve your overall focus and your attention span, which is so vital. There's too many distractions. And if you want to truly accomplish something that will wow people, that's something that will be amazing, then block times and dedicated hours will help you alleviate some of those extensive distractions that we all get from our smartphones. So don't forget that. That's why I think you should consider it. The next one is daily revision or evaluation. One of the most important aspects of my life nowadays is taking time to evaluate myself. And the reason why I think daily evaluation and revision matters a lot, because it helps you make the correct adjustments, which means you can maximize and optimize your performance the next day, the next week, the next month, the next year. If you are not evaluating yourself, and you know that we humans have a tendency to repeat about 60 to 70% of our daily habits, and it's so subconscious that we don't know. You could fall for the trap. And so don't fall for the trap. Daily evaluation allows you the ability to reassess, reevaluate. Are you spending and taking actions that align with your future vision? Are there ways you can improve your strategy so you can use pathways thinking to get to the places you need to get to? Great advantage of daily evaluation is optimization and maximizing performance in many aspects of your life. So make sure you do that. All right. The last one on the list is daily writing. The reason I think everyone should consider writing these days, you live in the era of social media, okay? So you can use some writing. It definitely could improve your writing overall. But as you refine your writing skills, you are going to enhance your overall communication. This is tremendous and vital in the era of social media where people have social anxiety. Listen, I'm not making fun of anything like that, but I'm just saying, when you can refine your writing, it improves your overall thinking, so your critical thinking skills, and it's going to improve your ability to gain command of the language in which you speak. It doesn't necessarily have to be English language, but you become better, not in certain words, in areas where you don't need to. You're a lot more thoughtful before you convey any message out there. You're not afraid of the pause. Hey, some people are afraid of the pause. It's okay sometimes. And even though myself, I have a tendency to speak at a really quick pace. Sometimes I guess, I don't know. I'm never going to say I'm afraid of the pause. I think I've gained a certain level of mastery to that point where I can command the language a lot more safely. But writing allows you to enhance that aspect of your life, so you can have those interactions and build small rapport with random people you meet in the streets, because ultimately it comes a lot to who you know, and you need to build better and more relationships with people. And as always, try not to keep it transactional. Make it transformational. All right. Anyway, writing is very powerful. That is the main reason why I think you should use it. It will improve your overall communication, your thinking, your critical thinking skills, which can be applied in various aspects of your life. All right. These, man, I'm telling you, they make a difference. They go a long way. The third question is, how can you develop every one of these habits? I mean, I think for majority of people, they already know how to do a few of these things. So let's go through this pretty quick. All right. For scheduling, I believe committing 1 to 2 hours. I'm doing this episode on a Sunday. So like on a Sunday, a Saturday, a Friday night, you take 1 to 2 hours and get you a good projection to the future, the upcoming week, especially if you're a beginner. All right. Try not to go 3 weeks or a month. Start slowly. And then as you get better, you can increase how long you take your schedule. All right. So a week, I think that's a great time. 1 to 2 hours. If you cannot dedicate 1 to 2 hours of your time towards the future actions that you need to take, right? The things that James Clear talked about, those commitment devices. If you can use scheduling as a way to commit to a future action that needs to get done, then it's only 1 to 2 hours. It's your future. You can plan better than that. You can even give it some more time than 2 hours. But 1 to 2 hours is a great time to get you started as far as scheduling is concerned. And on top of it, I just came to find out that Calenders, the Calenders apps are... Oh, wait, what? I think they're free on all the phones, Androids, iPhones, laptop, Windows, Mac. They're all free. So, listen, no excuse. Use it. These are great tools. It's just that they don't tell us how vital these tools are. It gives you a great projection. You can imagine further into the future, which means you have better anticipation of obstacles and problems. Just saying, that's the truth. And then the next one is daily evaluation. With daily evaluation, I think all you need to do is set a non-negotiable alarm or reminder. And so when it comes on at night around 8 p.m., 9 p.m., I like to do mine around 9, 10 p.m.-ish. And then I take account of what I got done and what I could improve. So it gives you an opportunity to do just that, right? Set an alarm, reminder, so you can get on top of your daily actions and make sure you are staying consistent with where you are going. Not where I'm going, not where any content creator is going. Where are you going? Daily evaluation. That's all you need, all right? And again, that one too, I think you give yourself about 1 to 2 hours. Great time to do that. Preferably, this is what I tell people. Do your daily evaluation right before you go to sleep. There is power in that. It's something Neville Goddard talked about. And the reason is because when you really evaluate, you use your imagination, because you are revising, you go into the future, you can embody exactly what you would have preferred to get done. And when you can see those things right before you go to sleep, somehow you wake up the next day with a larger focus on what needs to get done. And what it simply means is you wake up with that exact thing you thought about and revised in your mind. It's like the top of your focus. It's where your reticular activating system is. It's constantly on your mind, and that allows you to really get the things you need to get done. You see what I'm saying? So very, very important. Do it right before you go to sleep. It will make a big difference. You might even start having dreams about those things. All right. The next one is block times. How do you do block times? With block times, it's simply do not disturb. Turn it on during a specific task. Very, very easy. It will drastically increase your focus. It will make a difference. You are going to come up with better ideas. Whatever you're doing, you are going to perform a lot better when you do use block times. And it's something that once you start using, I don't think you are going to ever stop using block times. Dedicated hours to a specific task makes a huge difference. And also, I want to talk about something when it comes to block times, right? I know that some of us have emergencies. We have family members. We have loved ones that we have to let their information come through, notifications, maybe a call, someone you need to take care of. I get all of that, right? Like, I always make sure my family is coming through, my brother, my sister, my girlfriend. So if I'm the only one available to respond to any message, I'll let it come through. But sometimes there are certain projects that you're working on, you need to be locked in. You need to be locked in. If you need to finish some writing of a book, you need to finish a newsletter or an article, lock in, put the phone away. Even better, I think going to an isolated environment like in a Starbucks or a McDonald's, so get in a place where it's quiet so you can lock in. That's how you do it. Makes a big difference. For writing is also similar to that. Non-negotiable time. 5 minutes is great enough for beginners. 5 minutes of daily writing. And also, I got a trick for you. So as you do your revision for your daily evaluation, and then you have a rough draft, right? What you want to do is that you want to use the daily writing to refine those statements, right? Those sentences that you put together, and as you polish them again, it refines it in your mind as well, and it becomes something that's on top of your mind. So you basically kill two birds with one stone when you started. And always remember, as you get better with any of these habits, you can always go 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour a day of writing, whatever you prefer. And it still has to be in alignment with your ultimate vision. Now, how can you sustain these habits for the rest of your life? And it's funny because I don't like the rest of your life. I mean, that's for the long haul. How can you sustain it? Because that truly matters, right? We don't want to pick up habits that we just do for a few days and we stop and we'll never do it again. There are two things I want to talk about when it comes to this. Find a way to commit to doing it for at least 90 to 120 days. Now, I know the science says 60 days and you can sustain the habits, but it's not something that I've personally found to work, right? I can clearly remember when I started training after 95 some days, and then I realized, yeah, okay, I'm really locked in. Like, if I don't go to the gym, I feel some type of way. That's when, when you don't train and you feel some type of way, that's when you know, even if you fall off for a few weeks or a few days, you can get back to training. Or whatever that habit is, you can get back to it. You need to do it for so long to the point where it becomes part of who you are. You embody that new habit, that new idea. It's part of you. And so again, if you don't do it, you feel off. I don't feel right. And I think 90 to 120 days is a great spot for any of those habits in order to sustain it for the long haul. And then one other thing that I think you can do to sustain it, not like I know you can do to sustain it, is learning more about the specific habits, right? So I remember when I started learning more about building muscle and I came across my muscle connection. I mean, that was a very interesting thing to me because, like, again, some people say it doesn't work, but real people that train know my muscle connection in terms of building muscle makes a profound difference. I mean, there is a lot of research on this, that there were people that were really just told to just curl with their mind without even moving their hand. And they build as much muscle as the people that lift the weights. I mean, the research is out there. I might put it on the screen for you guys to see on YouTube, for those of you that will be watching on there. I think learning more about any habit gets you excited. All right? If you learn more about calendars and scheduling and how you can implement in different ways. And again, all of these habits, right? You're going to refine it and use it in the way you want to use it. Like, like you don't have to do calendars the way I do it. Just use calendars and scheduling. Like, you don't have to evaluate at the same time I evaluate. You can just do it whatever time. You might want to only evaluate once a week. I don't know. But the idea is out there for you to use it. And I think it's important that when you learn more about one specific habit, it really allows you to keep going, to keep pushing. That was for me when I decided to start working out. It made a big difference. It continued to still make a big difference. The more I learn about training, the more I want to keep going to the gym. I mean, that's just, it's like if I learn something cool or something new, like let's say I learned a different way of doing, like improving my biceps by, instead of doing bicep curls with the dumbbells or etc., I can actually hang on the pull-up bar, right, and do declines slowly, and puts a lot of tension on the muscle to build my bicep. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. I want to go to the gym and go try that, right? It's the same thing when it comes to any habits. That's how you can sustain these habits. All right. Now, before we get out of here, there's a few things I would like to touch on real quick, because I think these are important, right? This is not like any other podcast, and it's not like any other channel for a reason, right? This is the Sam Michael pod. It's different. You're like saying, no, it's not. It's very different. So one of the things I would like you to do is listen to this episode 5, 6, 7, 8 times. You know, listen to it in your car. I like to listen to my podcast in the car. But you can listen to it at home when you're doing something in the kitchen or going to bed, right? You want to do it as many times as possible if you care about these habits. It will allow you to embody these ideas. And then you're going to find yourself with a larger focus to start implementing this in your life. Trust me when I say this. If you use it, you will come back and let me know on the videos. That's a fact. All right. The second thing, I want you to take some notes. Notes are vital. All right. I think some of us have forgotten, or for whatever reason, like so many of us learn a lot from social media. Most of you don't read books and all these things as much anymore. You're learning a lot of these new things about personal growth, productivity on YouTube or some other social media platform, right? You're coming across clips. Take some notes when you spend 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, 2 hours of podcast. You telling me you're not going to take any notes if you watch a video for 2 hours? Like, what do you remember? How can you implement any of these ideas in your life? Can they actually be valuable? Take some notes. All right. I told you we're a different podcast. I'm just saying. The Sam Michael pod, man. We do it different. It drastically makes a difference when you take notes. You're able to comprehend the ideas a lot better, you know, if you do care about it. All right. And then also slowly find a way to implement at least one. Scheduling, if you don't do it. Or daily evaluation. Those are the two that I think you must find a way to do it. Right? What are some of the challenges you have faced in the era of pervasive social media? Let me know in the comment below. I would love to know about this, because I know I'm not the only one, but I have my own struggles. I know a lot of you have different experiences with social media. Let me know in the comment below. What are some of your difficulties right now as far as your goals are concerned? What is really distracting you so much that you don't have enough time to work on your top priorities? I would love to hear about that. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Listen, man, I'm more excited than I've ever been, because I can't believe we are on episode 21. We going. It's a compound effect, man. 21, the next thing you know, you find yourself 22, 23, 24, episode 30, 100. This is how it all starts. You know, it's like kind of like reading your first book. It's not the end of the world. Like, it's not going to profoundly probably make an impact. Some of it could. But you will find yourself reading your second book, and then the third, and then the fourth, and then you start meeting friends that love reading, and then they give you more books, and then you find more books, and then you start picking up new ideas, new perspectives, seeing the world in a different way. And all these ideas, as you learn and implement and extract the wisdom from them, and if you can embody them, it changes who you are. Anyway, if you're wondering what book I have here, there's an interesting story about this book, so let me go ahead and get it out of the way. Hopefully I can show this on camera pretty well. I don't know if you guys can see. Hopefully you can. But it says The Daily Stoic, 366 Meditations on Wisdom, Perseverance, and the Art of Living. Mr. Ryan Holiday, The Obstacle is the Way. Read that book as well. Incredible book, because the obstacle is the way. If you want the way out of your struggles, you want to feel like you have a level of structure in your life, the obstacle is the way. If it's finances, the obstacle is the way. If it's the fact that you need to pass your class, the obstacle is the way. When you go through it, you're going to come out a different person. Read this book. I can't wait to finish reading. I might do a few excerpts from this episode, from this book, like I did with some of the lectures from Neville Goddard, because I think there are so many small little quotations in here where it's like, oh wow, like I might be able to expand and give some different insights and my own outlook on things like that. But I hope you find a way to listen to this as many times as possible. And I know I talked about it earlier about subscribing. I'm not going to bombard you. Again, I don't want to be Graham Stephan, but hit the like and subscribe. Listen, man, I'm sorry, but for some reason, they said if you don't say this, you guys don't hit the subscribe button. And listen, man, you set up here, I give you 4 essential habits that's going to help you in the era of pervasive social media. When you know your attention span is 0, you're not hitting subscribe. Hit the damn subscribe. I appreciate you. We love you. I hope you implement these things. It will be transformational. And always remember to embody the consciousness of what you want. Assume with conviction that what you want and who you want to be, you already are. Assume that you're already a person that uses calendars. Assume you're a person that schedule. Assume you're a person that uses block times, dedicated hours. You write daily. You evaluate consistently. Assume you are that person already. And in no time, the assumption becomes fact. Shout out to Neville Goddard. I love you all. Stay blessed. Be productive. And I'm going to continue to say it. Get in the arena. It's better to fail in the arena. You might think this is a terrible episode. I give 0 Fs. But I'm in the arena. I'm in the game. I'm getting better. I'm learning from my mistakes. I'm improving. I'm learning about editing. I'm getting better at my writing. I'm getting better in front of the camera. My mic discipline. No, anyway, that's so interesting. But it's all getting better as a result. Get in the game. Get in the game. Stop worrying about what people think. We are actually going to talk about how to crush comparisons. You know what? We might do that for next episode. I don't know. But we might do. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all want me to talk about how to crush comparisons in the era of social media. Because I think that could be an interesting topic. Who else could use some ways to crush comparisons, because obviously some of you, the reason why you're not starting these episodes in the podcast and you're not doing the videos or whatever, it's because you care about what people want to say. You're comparing yourself to other people. You think, oh, these guys are so good. I don't think I'm even going to make a difference in this area. But like, what? I am is your name. I am. I was made to do great things. I don't hope I can do this. I am. Being. You want to be an entrepreneur? You don't need a certificate for that. There's a lot of people that have shown this very clearly. You don't. All right. I know I'm going all around the place, but again, it's the same Michael Pod. I love you all. Stay blessed. Go kill it. Make this week count. Accumulation of reps of priorities amount to your future vision. Peace.